Alright, I'm starting a new theme of videos on the channel, and I'd like to focus on individual perfumers. And today in this video I'm focusing on a young perfumer by the name of Quentin Bisch, and I've got 15 fragrances of his today in this video that I'm ranking from my least favorite to my most favorite. But obviously I have these fragrances for a reason. I like them. But obviously, if you're going to rank them and put them in a list, there's going to be one that's going to be at the bottom and one at the top. Either way, if you like this perfumer, this might be a great reference video for you to find out about his fragrances, or also, if you don't know about this perfumer, another way to discover some of the fragrances he's created. But either way, coming right up, I've got 15 Quentin Bisch fragrances all ranked for you. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is Sebastian with Smelling Great Fragrance Reviews. Yes, today I'm talking about Quentin Bisch, the perfumer, and I guess the very first time I discovered his fragrances were for Angel Muse from Mugler, and also Mugler's Ultra Zest. Sadly, Ultra Zest is not on this list. I still own a bottle, maybe I have two. It's discontinued, but Angel Muse is. And in this list, I've got both male fragrances, female fragrances, and also unisex fragrances, and I'm ranking them as equally as possible. And also, if there are fragrances that have multiple flankers, I'm leaving off the flankers. Although I don't have too many fragrances of his that have multiple flankers that I own, but there's one, Delina, which is here, and he's done two flankers for that fragrance. I only am featuring one of them, so I have room for other fragrances. So I'll let you know about these 15 fragrances created by Quentin Bisch, but before I do, if this is your first time tuning into the channel and you still haven't subscribed, please do click the subscribe button below, and also click the bell so that you'll be notified for future videos and giveaways. And also, just to let you know, I am going to be doing a bunch of these videos. I'll be doing top 10s, top 15s, top 20s, and also maybe even top 5s. Or if I don't have even 5, I'll probably do like an overview of a perfumer. But I'm going to be doing that going forward. And I've got two top 20s that I've already planned. I'm just kind of acquiring the fragrances of very well-known perfumers. Quentin Bisch came up because I was looking through my collection and I thought, wow, I've got so many fragrances that he's created, so let's go ahead and start this series with him. And two of the fragrances are created with, two, maybe three fragrances are created along with other perfumers, but the rest of them are all his own original creations. And we're going to start off at number 15 with one that he created with Michel Girard. It's Azzaro's Wanted by Night. And I've got this at the bottom of the list because in the end, it's my least favorite of the bunch. I like what he's done with this fragrance, and I actually really enjoyed a lot more than the original version, but there is still something in there that has this kind of like aquatic amber woods kind of a smell in there that somewhat doesn't, you know, excite me too much. It's actually fairly decent. I've got a full review of this one, and what I really like about the fragrance is the fact that it has loads of cinnamon. So it's got loads of cinnamon with fruits, tobacco, mandarin orange, incense, vanilla, lavender, cedar, and leather. So I think what's really running the show is that cinnamon. It's a lot of cinnamon here with fruits and some tobacco. And you know, the mandarin orange does come in also to give me, you know, like this fruity citrus combination in there. Incense is very light. The vanilla adds sweetness here, and you know, lavender with the aromatic touches. Again, this is the very bottom because it's my least favorite. There's a reason why I have it, because I do enjoy the cinnamon in this one along or against the fruits and the tobacco in here. So that's Azzaro Wanted by Night. And I'm going to go ahead and let you know if it's a male targeted fragrance versus a female or unisex. This one is a male targeted release, obviously. The next one is another male targeted release, and sadly I really do enjoy this one in comparison to the previous one, but the way I'm ranking this list, I ended up putting it at number 14. So it's at number 14, and it's Jean-Paul Gaulthier, Le Male Le Parfum. And this is a flanker that just came out last year, and it's the only one that I have created by Quentin Bisch, but he created this with another perfumer, Nathalie, Gracia-Cetto. And you know, I really do like this one. I think it's a great release. It's a solid release, different than the original, but still kind of lightly, very, very lightly hints at it, with cardamom. Loads of cardamom here with vanilla, lavender, iris, Oriental notes, woods. Not a lot going on with it, but you gotta, you know, focus on that Oriental notes. I think there's some ambery touches in here. Could be some spicy notes in there, maybe some resins and incense. Those are all very, very light. I think what's really running the show with this one is that cardamom with the vanilla and lavender. That's what's really key. And of course, iris is pretty prominent as well because I do get a powdery experience with this one. So that's Jean-Paul Gaultier Le Male Le Parfum. The next one is going to the house of Bottega Veneta, and it's QUERCIA, this one right here, which stands for oak tree. And this one, you know, it starts off really great. I really like the way it starts off, but sadly the dry down on me is not as great as I would like it to be, but initial blast is really, really lovely. But you know, it's a solid release. I have it for a reason. It's just when I'm doing the ranking, it's ended up here. But what I like about this one is the fact that it's very, very oaky. You do get that oaky kind of smell, but it's also very spicy with black pepper and pink pepper in here. But oak, black pepper, cashmere wood, labdanum, pink pepper, cardamom, Olibanum, Oakmoss, and Benzoin. If you like the idea of oak wood or oak tree, the smell of the oak tree, and you know, the kind of like the environment around it, I think this is a great scent. For me, as I said, it kind of dries down to be not something I'm really excited about, but I think what I like about it is the fact that they've captured, or he's captured, the oak tree perfectly with this one. So it's at number 13. I do like this series of fragrances, and actually there's two fragrances completely different in this series that I have created by Quentin Bisch. This is the first one at number 13, and it's QUERCIA. Basically stands for oak tree. And this was tough for me to do. I mean, this list is tough for me to do because all these fragrances I like, but if I'm going to put them in a ranking list, this one ended up at number 12. It's PENHALIGON'S Portraits Collection Terrible Teddy. It's an Ambroxan balm with loads of leather and incense. It's very, very smoky, ambery, woody, and powdery. Kind of dusty as well. Kind of like, you know, when it's a rhinoceros, obviously, as you can see. His environment is, you know, dusty, dirty, kind of not muddy necessarily, but you know, the way the animal, it's kind of like moves around, there's this dust kind of like he makes from the dirt that's on the ground. So that's what I'm visualizing when I'm wearing this one. But I think that it's pretty appropriate because it's smoky for sure, and it's also got this leatheriness from the animal itself, and of course the Ambroxan that's here as well. And we know Ambroxan is very ambery, woody, kind of wood chippings, dusty, a little aquatic, and musky as well. You know, it's a great scent. I really do enjoy this one. It's loud, it's intense, but sadly it's at number 12 because, you know, the way I'm ranking this video, that's how this one ended up here. So at number 12, it's PENHALIGON'S Portraits Terrible Teddy. Now I do want to mention that QUERCIA from Bottega Veneta is a unisex offering, and then Terrible Teddy is a male offering, masculine offering. And the way PENHALIGON'S Portraits collection they work is they release these fragrances with a female and a male counterpart. This one's the male offering. I think it's very unisex for women to pull off, but either way, that's PENHALIGON'S Portraits Collection Terrible Teddy. The next one I'm going to talk to you about is another fragrance from the house of Bottega Veneta, and this is a unisex offering, and this is Salvia Blue, BLU. So this one's a very, very fruity fragrance, and I think it's fun fragrance to wear summertime, or you know, when it's warm outside, if you like the fresh fruity qualities of fragrances. What I like about this one is apples, pears with ISOE Super, rose, sage, lavender, magnolia, musk, freesia, green notes, violet. So this is a very, very fruity, woody, aromatic experience, and very citrusy as well. But you know what? I do want to say I can see his signature in this one. I want to bring that up a little bit while I'm doing this video. The fruitiness in here kind of reminds me of the fruitiness in Delina. So that is coming up soon, but that apple note in here kind of reminds me of it. And also there's another Parfums de Marly fragrance, Carlisle, that also has apples. So I think I can see some of his signature way of working with creating fragrances. Now this is very, very fresh in comparison to Delina, but I think it's got some substantial notes in here to give us kind of like reminders of one fragrance to the other. They're nothing alike. Bottega Veneta's Salvia Blue in comparison to Delina, they're nothing alike, but if you smell them side by side, you'll kind of like smell some of the fruitiness from one and another. But I think this is a great scent. It's very, very fruity and aromatic, as I said. Lots of citrusiness in here, but I don't see any citrus listed. I'm assuming there's some bergamot in here to give us some citrus freshness. But, you know, it's got musky touches and white floral touches as well to make for a great, great scent. So that's Bottega Veneta Salvia Blue. The next one I'm going to talk to you about is a female targeted scent, and this is Angel Muse. And Angel Muse is so good because what I like about Angel Muse and not Angel Nova, he also worked on Angel Nova. I left it off this list. That had 2 additional perfumers that he worked on. This actually I really, really love because it hints at the original Angel in the background, but it's a totally different fragrance, and that's what I like about this one. He might have worked on this one with somebody else. I'm not 100% sure. I didn't write down if he did. But this one focuses on patchouli, of course. Lots of patchouli here. And that's kind of what I like about this one. And it's nicely meshed with the hazelnut chocolate spread, like Nutella or something similar. There's also some vetiver. There's pink pepper. There's some grapefruit. So I feel like it's not necessarily overly feminine like Angel is, but still kind of feminine, of course, because it has those, you know, beautiful touches. But I really, really love this one. It smells fantastic. The patchouli against the hazelnut chocolate spread is top notch, and that's why it's pretty high up there. So Mugler's Angel Muse. What a great fragrance this is. And the next fragrance I'm talking about is another female targeted fragrance. This is Delina, of course. And Delina is really, really great. The fruitiness in here is really, really crisp. It's slightly milky. It has you know, lots of fruity touches with rhubarb and roses and lychee fruits, but I think just the combination is really, really fun to wear. It has its oomphiness to it, but you can kind of get away with wearing it when it's warm outside, although there is a new flanker, La Rosée, with this fragrance that just recently came out, which is actually even more appropriate for really hot days. But this one's really, really a solid release that he's created for the ladies from the Parfum de Marly brand. But Delina features lots of roses, lychee fruit, rhubarb, peony, bergamot, musk, petalia, cashmere, vanilla, cedar, vetiver, and incense. Great, great scent. I really love wearing this one, even though it's female targeted. I think it smells great on me. And I love the whole fruit combination with the flowers. Definitely a top-notch release. So that's Parfums de Marly's Delina. Definitely check it out if you don't know it. The next one, we're going to an indie niche house called Marc-Antoine Barrois. This is B683 at number 8. So again, it's very, very complicated to do these lists, you know, because all of these are really great fragrances, but I'm ranking them because which one do I like more than the other? And this one ended up at number 8. And this one, along with another one that kind of sort of seem like flankers, but they're not to me. This is featuring notes of saffron, violet leaf, black pepper, patchouli, nutmeg, red chili, labdanum, sandalwood, ambroxan. Lots going on in here. It does have ozonic touches. It has loads of leathery touches from the saffron, which also has a lot of aromatic, spicy touches. You know, throw in the patchouli with the black pepper, spice, and nutmeg. You know, I think it's great scented. It does have ambery touches, and then of course ambroxan comes in as well with sandalwood. It's a solid, very, very sexy, but also very classy masculine offering. This is a male targeted release. We just had a few female targeted release, and of course the Salvia Blue from Bottega Veneta is unisex. Women can totally pull this off, but definitely has the masculine touches. The other fragrance in this collection I think is a little more unisex, which I'm getting to in a little bit. But B683, if you like masculine, woody fragrances that are spicy and leathery at the same time, definitely check out B683 from Marc-Antoine Barrois. Alright, next up we're going to the house of essential parfums. This is Bois Imperial, this one right here. So this is the latest fragrance from Essential Parfums, and I think it's a solid release. It's got loads of woody touches. Obviously it's called Bois Imperial. Bois means woods or wood. Vetiver, akigala wood, basil, timor, woodsy notes, ambroxanite, and patchouli. What can I say about this one except for the fact that it's very, very woody? It's a woody experience. It's also earthy. There are some aromatic green touches in here, and of course spicy touches and patchouli. It's a solid release. If you like woodsy fragrances that are definitely priced with, you know, the pricing of like designer fragrances, I think this house is a great house for you to check out, especially the Bois Imperial from Essential Parfums. But the collection is all under $100, and they're all very, very solid releases. And I think this latest one from Essential Parfums, Bois Imperial, definitely doesn't disappoint for woody fragrance lovers. If you like a very modern woodsy fragrance experience, definitely try Bois Imperial from Essential Parfums. I think it's definitely solid. And again, it's utilizing vetiver with akigala wood, and then of course basil, and then of course more woodsy notes in there as well. The next one is going to the house of Rubes Milano, and this is Bleu, this one right here. Now, I did a comparison video of these two, and you know, they were a little more equal, but now I really enjoy this one a little more, and I like its animalic touches in here, and the fact that it's a lot more leatherier than the other one. They do remind me of one another, but then this one, as I said, has those animalic touches. But this is Rubes Milano, and it's blue, and they have 3 fragrances in their collection. They have a red, and they have a green one as well. But this one, as I said, is created by Quentin Bisch, but it's also very, very leathery, woody, and it's also powdery. So this one has loads of leather with iris, woodsy notes, animalic notes, floral notes, citruses, and also aromatic notes. So it's a nice, beautiful combination of beautiful notes, and of course it does get animalic, and leather fragrances in general do get animalic on me anyway. Sometimes this one actually has that additional animalic notes thrown in. We don't really know what it is. Could be some musk, could be some civet, or I don't know, something animalic in here, probably synthetic for sure. But I think it's a solid release if you like leathers with woods and powdery touches, and of course flowers as well. And the bottle is really, really a beautiful little bottle right here. So that's Rubes Milano Blue at number 6. The next one I'm going to talk to you about is from the house of État Libre d'Orange. This is Herman à mes côtes, mes parisiens un ombre. Alright, that is the longest name and also the most complicated, challenging French name ever. But this is not the only fragrance he's done for this house. He's done several fragrances for État Libre d'Orange. This is the only one I have, and I really, really do like it for its earthiness, for its greenness, for its rosiness, for its patchouli touches. It's quite sexy. I really like the way it is. I think it's great, you know, wearing fragrance, you know, like a fragrance to wear day in and day out. Could be signature scent worthy kind of a thing, because it's a little different, but not necessarily a lot different, you know, like unconventional and conventional coming together a little bit. That's what I like about it, because I think that geosmin adds this kind of unique touch to it, very, very earthy, and kind of almost like going to the petrichor direction, or maybe like soil tincture direction kind of a thing, that I really, really like. And I find it very, very sexy, as I said, because along with those notes, there's that patchouli and rose in here that adds a unique, beautiful touch to it. And again, it's a very, very complicated name for a fragrance. Herman à mes côtes, mes parisiens un ombre. I'm having a challenging time with it, but the fragrance itself is really, really wonderful. So check it out, État Libre d'Orange house, and it's at number 5. The next fragrance I'm going to talk to you about is from the house of Parfums de Marly, and this is Carlisle. So Carlisle was a love at first sniff. Way before it was launched worldwide, I brought it back from France from the Parfums de Marly boutique way long ago, as I said, before it launched. And I loved it because it reminded me of Leighton with Herod, which I still am a fan of those two fragrances. This one kind of smelled like the combination of those two fragrances. But this one features loads of patchouli, tonka beans, vanilla, rose, green apple, nutmeg. It's definitely in line with a lot of, you know, Parfums de Marly fragrances, and even though it has the fruity touches in here, this one's totally fruity, definitely masculine versus feminine, and you know, it's definitely, you know, as I said, it's a masculine leaning fragrance, but it kind of has gourmand touches, you know, slight gourmandish touches in there because there's some sweetness and things like that, the vanilla and tonka. But the patchouli adds this beautiful earthy layer to the fragrance, and some spices and rose as well. Very, very wonderful. It's a solid release with this one. I really do enjoy wearing it. It's probably my #1 or definitely a top 5 Parfums de Marly fragrance, and I think its lasting power is intense. It lingers on for a long time, and that's what I like about this particular fragrance. So that's Carlisle from the house of Parfums de Marly. This is a male targeted release. The État Libre d'Orange is a unisex targeted release. The Rubes Milano is a unisex targeted release. And then also the Essential Parfums is another unisex targeted release. So in case you don't know, a lot of you ask me if the fragrances are unisex for male or for women, then now you know who they are targeted to. But my rule is, if you like the way the fragrance smells, why bother even thinking who it's targeted to? Just wear it, you know. Alright guys, 3 more fragrances left. 3 more, and this might be surprising to you with the choices that I have on this list. But at number 3 is going to the house of Van Cleef & Arpels, and it's Neroli Amara. Beautiful Neroli fragrance. Really gorgeous. Really gorgeous with Neroli Orange Blossom, Mandarin Orange, Cypress, Bergamot, Lemon, Pear, Black Pepper. I think it's a beautiful creamy experience, and they've captured the orange tree along with other notes that are in this you know, the orange grove or orange tree environment together. There's a little bit of spice in here, some aromatic green woody touches of cypress, but everything else is all citruses, either the flowers or the actual fruits themselves. And they do throw in that little bit of a pear note in here, and it's there, it's under there. You can totally pick it up lightly, and it works beautifully with all the other notes. And I feel like pear is used quite a bit. Not necessarily pear, but pear was featured in this particular fragrance. But fruity notes like pears and things like that come up in Quentin Bisch's fragrances, and it definitely is prominent here. Anyway, that's number 3, Van Cleef & Arpels Neroli Amara. I believe this is a unisex targeted release. I think this collection is all unisex. Men might think this might be a little feminine leaning, but I think it's perfect for summer. If you like Neroli Orange Blossom, definitely check that out. So that is Neroli Amara. The next one, I'm going to the house of L'Artisan Parfumeur. This is Mandarina Corsica. It's become my number 2 favorite of his. It's such a great fragrance. It's almost like mandarin oranges with cookies, or, you know, sweet pastries or something. It's really delicious smelling. Really, I love it. It reminds me of some sweet treat I've had with mandarin oranges. It's really wonderful. I think if you haven't sampled this particular fragrance, I think you should definitely check it out, especially if you like citruses combined with gourmand notes. But this features loads of mandarin orange, caramel, immortelle, tonka beans, vanilla, bitter orange, cinnamon, sandalwood, maltol, and orange blossom. See, the notes have the gourmand notes, caramel of course, and then of course immortelle in here is a note that kind of has brown sugary caramelly kind of touches to begin with. It's the everlasting flower along with the tonka beans and the vanilla. I think it's very gourmand, but beautifully meshed with the mandarin orange. I think great wearing experience. It might be a little too strong for summer. It's, you know, it might be a little too sweet for summer, but I think fall, you know, springtime, it's a great scent. Unless you wear, I mean, you live in some kind of a cooler environment or cooler country, and I think this would be perfect all year round. It's not like a beastly fragrance, but it smells fantastic, and I absolutely love it. So that's L'Artisan Parfumeur's Mandarina Corsica. This is definitely unisex targeted. And then I'm going to end the video with Marc-Antoine Barrois' Ganymede. And Ganymede is a male targeted fragrance, and I feel like this one is not as masculine as B683. This is so sexy. Really sexy fragrance, and I like it because it's minerally, ozonic, and musky at the same time with light fruity undertones. Very sexy and very classy as well. I think this is a great signature fragrance, kind of a fragrance. It's not overwhelming, it's not as intense as this one, wears beautifully, wears, you know, solid. Like, it's a solid release, and it's, I find it to be a very sexy offering from this house. But mineral notes, violet leaves, immortelle, mandarin orange, osmanthus, suede, saffron, akigala wood. If you know heard me mention those notes, he's used those notes in other fragrances, like we just heard about Immortelle in the Mandarina Corsica. It's here. Of course, Mandarin is also here. Then it also has osmanthus, which has the fruity touches, kind of stone fruity, and lots of woods, and of course the saffron adds a leathery touch. The experience is amazing. It's a fantastic fragrance, and that's why it's at #1. I really love it. I wear it, and I just really, you know, experience happiness when I put it on, because it's a little, you know, classy, like masculine offering, not overly masculine, but it has this kind of like sophistication, businessman kind of a you know, experience with it. But then I smell all the fruits come through and all the notes, and I go, wow, that's a happy fragrance kind of a thing, you know? That's what I like about it. It's at #1. That's Marc-Antoine Barrois, and it's Ganymede. And that's my #1 favorite Quentin Bisch creation for the house of Marc-Antoine Barrois. I hope you like this video of 15 fragrances created by Quentin Bisch. Let me know if you know these fragrances. Let me know if you've worn them. Do you have them, or have you been eyeing them? Put a comment down so I can find out. And also let me know, which perfumers would you like to see these videos done with? I'm going to be doing a bunch of them, as I said. I've got 2 top 20s that I'm planning currently of different perfumers that are more of the older perfumers. But I want to do more perfumers that are more, you know, current and, you know, not necessarily up and coming, but definitely younger perfumers like Quentin Bisch. Either way, guys, thanks so much for tuning in today. If you have any questions or comments, please do list below. Otherwise, please like this video, please share it. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye.